Okay, our next speaker, you recognize her as the person that helped make this possible, being Grun's guitar, but she lives a second life. She is the education coordinator at the National Association for Armenian Studies and Research, NAASR. Please welcome Sara Cohan. We'll set it up. How do you like it? Did you sing the slides?
No.
Okay.
Is it too hard? You know what? Forget it. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Okay. A lot of you all know Mark Ramagonian. He's my advisor. Please don't tell him that I didn't use a PowerPoint. My name is Sara Cohan. I have a couple different identities. One is the wife of guitar people, of a guitar man in Nashville, and the other is my Armenian identity, my American identity, yada yada. So I've grown up in the South, which makes me further out of the diaspora than usual, but I have been really fortunate to connect with Armenian world and work in Armenian organizations for the past, I think almost over 20 years. And in fact, my first job, Harar Hovnanian, was on the board supervising me, and so I had opportunity to know him a little bit at ANI. But I'm here, and I really appreciate that. But I'm here speaking on behalf of NAASR. And I'm just curious, how many of you all know what NAASR is? Great. Do you? No? Okay, good. So we've got a mix. And NAASR was started in 1955, which makes it a real landmark organization for Armenian diaspora in the U.S. It is based in Belmont, Mass., which is an extension of Watertown, in my opinion, and it's a research library, repository for some collections, and a bookstore, as well as a funding organization for scholars. My advisor, Mark, has been, and before him, Manuk, have been incredibly vital components of the research that has been done on Armenian genocide and Armenian history. I'm so genocide, I'm so diaspora, and I apologize. I always go to 1915, but NAASR is about a larger picture. And it's about Armenian history. They provide funding for scholars for research, starting with graduate students onward. Most of the great works have had Mark in the background, including Taner Akşam's discovery of Naim Bey's diary, which proved that the telegraphs that were sent were authentic, and putting without doubt that the Armenian case is genocide in a legal perspective. And that was one thing that was particularly exciting, but everything from cultivating the work on translating diaries from Shushi and from 1921, for funding work on women, like the early days of feminism. That's okay, and I'm going to tell you the ones that are my favorites, obviously. So, and then one of the components of this funding is that the scholars then give back by providing public lectures. Of course, technology has been a tremendous help, and NAASR being seen on a more national and international level. So right before COVID, and then of course during COVID, and now we have many more hybrid sessions and some that are specifically Zoom sessions, so that we can bring scholars from around the world together to discuss important topics. We can bring scholars into our zone to discuss their new works, whether they're from Hayastan, the US, France, Argentina, etc. And I really recommend you looking at our YouTube channel. Please think about subscribing to our email list. It's funny too, when I was working at like Genocide Education Project, I used to always tell my audience, feel free to subscribe because we're not going to send you many because I have to write them. And in this case, I can speak for Mark, is you get enough, but he has to write them, so you're not going to get overwhelmed. He's got a lot of other things on his plate. So, but it will let you know what lectures are available, what new books are coming out. Membership is very low. I can't remember, maybe 25 for students or something, but 50 for adults. It's a very reasonable way to fund this research library. I also recommend that instead of going to Amazon, consider buying your books from Armenian sources, whether it's Abril or NAASR, or I'm thinking of the my bookstore, and you get a membership discount, and there's another one I was trying to think. Yes, and we have worked together on Zabel Yek Science works, which have been, if you are not familiar, has been an incredible moment in women's history with Armenian women's history. And one of the reasons it started was to create, besides providing research and ability, but was also to create Armenian chairs at universities. And the first one was in see, that's where the PowerPoint helps, but in the 1950s, the first one was established at Harvard with the help of a Persian scholar who said, not only does Persian and Arab history need to be included, but also Armenian. And so Harvard was the first chair, UCLA in the 1960s was the second chair, and then from there, it has just continued to grow. The chairs are extremely important politically as well as academically, because as we all know, denialists are also working on getting chairs and have the money and power to flip universities. We need to be able to provide chairs so that we have academic scholars out there telling the truth and publishing the truth. It is also a place that in diaspora, we have to remember that we need to be the caretakers for our history. And in a time in which we are suffering because of our losses and fear for the future, one thing we can do is think about supporting organizations and participating in organizations that teach us our history and preserve our history. Armenians tend to think that they know their history. I don't need to go to your workshop. I already know. I know the genocide. But we have such a long and intricate history. There's always something to learn. So please, like I said, visit our YouTube channel and sign up for our email, and I hope you enjoy and appreciate our programming. Thank you.